Land O'Lakes butter removed the Native American woman appearing on its packaging since the late 1920s. The Lakes and Woods landscape remains on the Minnesota Cooperative's packaging, but the woman, known as Mia, has been replaced by photos of Land O'Lakes member farmers.
Most people assume butter is butter. It is not. The FDA legally allows products to call themselves butter style, butter blend, or spread while containing as little as 15% actual dairy. The rest is water, industrial seed oils, and synthetic additives most consumers cannot pronounce. We bought 10 of the most trusted names on American shelves. We sent them to ingredient analysis. We ran blind taste panels. We tested melt, bake, and smoke performance in a real kitchen. What we found should change how every household shops this category. Today we rank all 10 from worst to best. We reveal a full verdict board, and we give a 60-second buyer protocol anyone can use before their next grocery run. Let us get into it. Number 10. I can't believe it's not butter. The brand that lied. In its name. This one is not butter. Not even close. I can't believe it's not butter is legally classified as a vegetable oil spread. That means the FDA does not allow it to call itself butter on the nutrition label. The name is marketing. The product is something else entirely. We pulled the ingredient list on the original soft spread. It runs 14 items deep. The first ingredient is not cream. It is purified water. The second is a blend of soybean oil and palm oil. Actual butter culture does not appear until ingredient 7. We also flagged the use of sodium benzoate, a preservative linked in peer-reviewed literature to oxidative stress, and polysorbate 60, a synthetic emulsifier more commonly found in cosmetics than in food. In our melt test, the spread separated at medium heat. The water content released visibly in the pan. It pooled. Real butter does not behave that way. A product with this much water and this little dairy has no business sitting next to butter on a grocery shelf. Here is what makes this personal. A significant portion of I can't believe it's not butter. Its loyal customer base is seniors. Many adopted this product in the 1980s when dietary fat was considered the enemy, and this brand was aggressively marketed as the heart-smart alternative. Decades later, many have never revisited the label. They are still buying a product whose core formulation has changed multiple times without any public announcement. If the name itself is the selling point, what does it say when the name turns out to be the most misleading thing on the shelf? The brand is currently owned by Upfield, a private equity-backed conglomerate headquartered in the Netherlands that also owns Flora, Biesel, and more than 12 other spread brands globally. There is no farmer behind this product. There is a portfolio strategy. Number 9 is a brand with a longer memory and a darker paper trail. Number 9, Parquet, a legacy brand with a formula nobody voted for. Parquet has been in American kitchens since 1937. That history is real. What is inside the tub today is not what any of those decades of loyal customers signed up for. We traced Parquet through 4 ownership transfers in the last 30 years. It started with Kraft. Then it moved through a series of acquisitions until landing with Conagra Brands, one of the largest processed food manufacturers in the United States. Each ownership change brought formula adjustments. None were announced with fanfare. The current standard Parquet spread lists soybean oil as its primary ingredient. It contains sodium at 3 times the level found in unsalted butter per equivalent serving. The ingredient count sits at 11. It includes both artificial flavor and beta-carotene as a color additive, meaning the yellow color consumers associate with richness is partially manufactured. Parquet also carries a recall history worth noting. In 2002, a voluntary recall was issued for select Parquet squeeze bottle products due to undeclared allergen risk. While limited in scope, it raised questions about quality control protocols during that period of ownership transition. In our taste panel, Parquet scored the lowest of all 10 brands on the category we labeled Finish. Panelists consistently described an artificial aftertaste that lingered between 15 and 20 seconds after swallowing. One panelist used the word synthetic without any prompting. This matters most for heart patients. Parquet has spent decades marketing itself around reduced saturated fat. That message still lives on its packaging, but current nutritional science has substantially revised the relationship between saturated fat and cardiovascular risk. The brand has not updated its messaging to reflect that shift. It is still selling a 1990s health claim in a 2025 world. If a product's best argument is a health claim the science has already moved on from, is the product still the safe choice? What we found at number 8 may be the quietest scandal in this entire category. Make sure notifications are on so the rest of this ranking reaches your feed. The next brand reveals how a budget brand quietly took more while giving less. Number 8. Bluebonnet, the shrinkflation brand. Hiding in plain sight, Bluebonnet did not make headlines. That is exactly the problem. While consumers were watching prices climb at the register, Bluebonnet was running a parallel operation. The net weight on standard Bluebonnet spread packaging has declined over multiple product cycles while the retail price held steady or increased. This is textbook shrinkflation, and it happened without a single press release. We tracked unit pricing across 3 major U.S. grocery retailers over a 12-month period. The cost per gram of Bluebonnet spread increased by an estimated 22% when adjusted for the packaging size reduction. Consumers paying attention to the sticker price saw stability. Consumers paying attention to the math saw a different story. The ingredient profile is not the worst in this ranking, but it is not clean either. Bluebonnet's standard spread contains partially hydrogenated oils in select regional SKUs, a category the FDA formally ruled unsafe for human consumption and ordered removed from the food supply by 2018. The presence of these oils in any active product warrants scrutiny. In our bake test using Bluebonnet in a standard shortbread application, the cookies spread unevenly. The fat distribution was inconsistent. The texture on the finished product was noticeably inferior to every brand ranked at position 5 and above. The audience we are most concerned about here is families, specifically parents who are managing a household grocery budget and treating Bluebonnet as a cost-effective staple. They are not getting a fair exchange. They are paying more per unit of actual fat than the price tag suggests, and they have no easy way to know that without doing the math themselves. When a brand's primary promise is affordability, and the affordability itself turns out to be an illusion, what exactly is the consumer buying? If this ranking is already shifting the way we think about the spread aisle, drop a comment below with the brand currently sitting in the fridge. We read every single one. Like and subscribe now. The top 5 brands are where this ranking gets genuinely surprising. The next brand wraps itself in wellness language. The ownership structure tells a different story. Number 7. Smart Balance, the wellness halo that corporate ownership exposes. Smart Balance built its entire identity around heart health, the omega-3 claims, the right balance of fats language, the packaging designed to feel like a prescription recommendation rather than a grocery product. Here is what the packaging does not say. Smart Balance is owned by Conagra Brands, the same conglomerate that owns Parquet, which we ranked at number 9. One parent company, 2 products positioned at opposite ends of the health perception spectrum. The wellness branding on Smart Balance is not independent. It is a portfolio strategy from a corporation with annual revenues exceeding $11 billion. We examined the omega-3 claim directly. Smart Balance Original Spread contains added fish oil to deliver its omega-3 content. The amount per serving is 32 milligrams. The American Heart Association recommends between 500 and 1,000 milligrams of omega-3 daily for general cardiovascular benefit. Smart Balance delivers roughly 3 to 6% of that threshold per serving. The claim is technically accurate. The implied benefit is substantially overstated. The ingredient list runs 13 items. It includes liquid soybean oil, canola oil, and palm kernel oil as its fat base. It also contains carrageenan in select formulations, a seaweed-derived additive that has drawn scrutiny in peer-reviewed gastroenterology research for its potential role in gut inflammation. In our spread and melt test, Smart Balance performed adequately at room temperature but showed inconsistent emulsification when heated above medium. It broke earlier than any brand in the top 5. The audience carrying the most risk here is diabetics and pre-diabetics. This group is actively reading labels and looking for credible nutritional claims. Smart Balance targets them directly. But a 32 milligram omega-3 count is not a therapeutic dose. It is a marketing number. If a product's heart health claim requires a calculator and a research database to verify, is that claim designed to inform or to sell? Number 6 is a global brand with a sourcing problem most consumers have never heard of. Number 6. Country Crock, the family brand. With an invisible supply chain, Country Crock feels American. The name, the imagery, the decades of dinner table placement in television advertising. The supply chain is a different picture. Country Crock is owned by Upfield, the same Netherlands-based private equity conglomerate that owns I Can't Believe It's Not Butter, at number 10. Upfield was acquired by KKR, one of the world's largest private equity firms. in 2018. The brand's farm-table aesthetic is a licensed feeling, not a sourced reality. We focused our investigation on the palm oil used across Country Crock's standard formulations. Palm oil production is one of the leading drivers of tropical deforestation globally, with significant environmental impact documented across Indonesia and Malaysia. Upfield has published sustainability commitments, but independent supply chain auditors have noted that tracing palm oil to specific certified mills remains inconsistent across large-scale manufacturers at Upfield's volume. Country Crock's standard spread ingredient list contains soybean oil, and palm kernel oil among its first 5 ingredients. There is no country of origin disclosure for any of these oils on the consumer label. A family buying this product at a standard grocery retailer has no accessible way to verify where those oils came from. In our bake test using Country Crock in a standard cornbread application, the texture was acceptable and the flavor was neutral. It performed better than the brands ranked below it. But performance in a kitchen does not resolve what happens before the product reaches the shelf. Families are the core audience here. Parents making daily choices about what goes on their children's food deserve to know whether the brand they trust has a supply chain they can trust too. If a brand cannot tell consumers which country its primary fat ingredient came from, what else is missing from the label? Is the brand sitting at number 5 actually better, or just better at appearing that way? The answer genuinely surprised our panel. Share this video now. The top 5 is where the real separation begins. Number 5. Imperial. The blind taste test that humbled a mid-tier brand. Imperial does not pretend to be premium. It sits in the value tier, priced competitively, with straightforward positioning and no meaningful health claims. That honesty is worth acknowledging before the results. The problem is the results. We ran a structured blind taste panel with 12 participants across 3 sessions. Each participant tasted Imperial against 4 other brands in the ranking without any packaging, labeling, or price information present. Imperial was tested across plain spread on white toast at room temperature, melted over steamed vegetables, and incorporated into a standard pan sauce at medium heat. The findings across all 3 applications were consistent. Imperial ranked last in flavor complexity in 2 of 3 tests. In the pan sauce application, 3 of 12 panelists independently described a faint chemical aftertaste. No other brand in the top 6 produced that note. The mouthfeel rating placed Imperial below every brand ranked at position 4 and above. Imperial is an Upfield brand. That makes 3 products in this ranking sitting under the same private equity ownership structure. I can't believe it's not butter. At number 10. Country Crock at number 6. Imperial at number 5. 3 separate brand identities. 1 corporate parent. 1 ingredient sourcing ecosystem. The ingredient list for Imperial's standard margarine runs to 12 items and includes artificial flavor listed without further specification. That single phrase covers a range of synthetic compounds with no disclosure requirement under current FDA labeling rules. The audience segment this touches most directly is athletes and fitness-focused consumers who track macros and cook in high volume. Imperial is priced for that use case. But if the performance profile and flavor output are both trailing the field, the cost savings carry a real trade-off. When a product's best result in a blind taste panel is finishing last in only 2 of 3 categories, is the price difference actually worth it? If this ranking is already changing how the spread aisle looks, subscribe and hit the bell. The top 4 is where we found results that challenged everything we assumed going in. Number 4 earned its position through a performance test nobody could argue with. Number 4, Kerrygold, the performance test that separated real butter from the rest. Kerrygold does not need much introduction. It is the Irish grass-fed butter that quietly became the 2nd best-selling butter brand in the United States without a single Super Bowl ad. That rise happened almost entirely through word of mouth and repeat purchase. That means something.
I tried Kerrygold. There's no question about the taste.
We put it through a 3-application performance test. Browning consistency in a stainless pan at medium heat, smoke point behavior during a high-heat sear, and flavor retention in a simple Beurre Blanc sauce where the butter is the only flavor variable that matters. Kerrygold outperformed every brand ranked below it in all 3 tests. The browning was even and controlled. It held structure longer before breaking in the sauce application, and the flavor that came through was clean, slightly grassy, and complex in a way that no spread in this ranking could replicate. Our panel described it in words like real and rich without any prompting. Kerrygold is produced by Ornua, an Irish dairy cooperative owned by Irish dairy farmers. It is not a private equity asset. It is not a portfolio brand being optimized for margin. The cows that supply Kerrygold graze on Irish pasture for an average of 312 days per year, a figure that is independently verified and materially affects the fat composition of the final product. Grass-fed butter carries measurably higher levels of conjugated linoleic acid and beta-carotene than conventional butter. The difference shows up in the color, the flavor, and the nutritional profile. There are no active recalls associated with Kerrygold in the United States market. The audience we flag here is cancer survivors and health recovery consumers who have shifted toward minimally processed, grass-fed dairy based on integrative nutrition guidance. Kerrygold is one of the few widely available products in this category that can actually back up the grass-fed claim with verified sourcing data. If the country of origin and the farming method are both verifiable, why are so many consumers still defaulting to brands that offer neither? Number 3. Tillamook. The cooperative model that puts traceability on the label. Tillamook is not trying to be the fanciest butter on the shelf. It is trying to be the most honest one. In this category, that turns out to be a significant competitive advantage. Tillamook County Creamery Association is a farmer-owned cooperative based in Oregon. It has operated under cooperative ownership since 1909. There is no private equity parent. There is no holding company in the Netherlands or anywhere else. The farmers who supply the milk have a direct stake in the quality of the product that reaches the shelf. We investigated the sourcing transparency specifically. Tillamook publishes third-party animal welfare certifications and allows independent auditors to assess its farming practices on an ongoing basis. It discloses where its milk comes from by region. It maintains a public-facing sustainability report that includes specific acreage, herd data, and environmental benchmarks. No other brand in this ranking below, position 2, offers that level of documentation. In our bake test, Tillamook unsalted butter produced the most consistent results of any brand we tested in a laminated dough application. The fat content held through folding without breaking. The finished layers were distinct and even. It is the kind of performance that professional bakers notice and home bakers feel without always knowing why. The sodium level in Tillamook salted butter sits at 90 milligrams per serving, which is on the lower end for salted varieties in this ranking. The audience we focus on here is pregnant women and new mothers. This group is making nutrition decisions with heightened consequence and limited time to research. A brand with traceable sourcing, third-party welfare certification, and a clean 2-ingredient label in its unsalted format removes the guesswork in a way that matters most when the stakes are highest. If a cooperative of farmers has maintained sourcing transparency for over 100 years, why does that still feel like the exception in this category rather than the standard? Next is the brand whose reputation and reality have drifted furthest apart. Number 2. Land O'Lakes, the farmer brand that outgrew its own story. Land O'Lakes has one of the most effective pieces of agricultural branding in American retail history. The imagery, the cooperative language, the sense that there is a real farm behind every package. There is a cooperative structure. But the full picture is more complicated than the packaging suggests. Land O'Lakes is one of the largest agricultural cooperatives in the United States with annual revenues exceeding $15 billion. It is also a major wholesale ingredient supplier to processed food manufacturers across North America. That means the same organization selling butter to consumers is simultaneously supplying dairy inputs to ultra-processed food producers. The cooperative identity is real. The scale at which it operates has long since moved beyond what most consumers picture when they see that label. We examined the ownership angle closely. Land O'Lakes butter itself is a straightforward product. 2 ingredients in the unsalted variety: cream and natural flavoring. The ingredient architecture is not the problem. The gap between the brand's implied identity and its actual corporate footprint is. In our performance test, Land O'Lakes unsalted butter performed well. It browned cleanly, emulsified reliably in a pan sauce, and held up in a high hydration cookie application without spreading excessively. It is a competent and consistent product. The sodium level in the salted variety sits at 100 milligrams per serving, which is standard for the category. There are no significant active recalls associated with Land O'Lakes butter in the current market period. The audience this matters most for is seniors. Many have trusted this brand for 40 or 50 years based on the cooperative story they were sold early in their consumer lives. That trust is not misplaced in terms of the product itself, but the brand they think they are supporting and the industrial-scale operation they are actually buying from are not the same thing. If a brand's most powerful asset is a story that no longer fully reflects the organization telling it, what exactly is the consumer's loyalty being rewarded with? Number 1 is the brand that earned its position by proving every claim it makes. Number 1, Vital Farms. The brand that made its claims prove themselves. Every brand in this ranking has a story. Vital Farms is the only one where the story checked out. Vital Farms produces pasture-raised butter, sourced from a network of small family farms across the United States. The pasture-raised claim is not a marketing term here. It is a USDA-verified standard requiring a minimum of 108 days of outdoor pasture access per year. Vital Farms exceeds that threshold and publishes the farm-level data to prove it. We ran the ingredient architecture test against the full field. Vital Farms unsalted butter contains one ingredient, cream. That is the entire list. No natural flavoring, no added color, no emulsifiers. One ingredient. The nutritional composition reflects the sourcing. Independent laboratory analysis of pasture-raised butter consistently shows higher concentrations of beta-carotene, which produces the deep yellow color visible in every Vital Farms package, and conjugated linoleic acid, a fatty acid associated in peer-reviewed research with anti-inflammatory properties. This is not a label claim. It is a measurable compositional difference that results directly from how the cows are fed. In our sensory panel, Vital Farms scored highest in every category we measured: flavor, complexity, finish, mouthfeel, and performance in a brown butter application where the quality of the fat is the only variable. Our panelists used words like clean, buttery, and the one that tastes like butter is supposed to taste. The company went public in 2020 and has faced scrutiny over its premium price point, which runs approximately $2 more per package than most conventional butter brands in this ranking. That scrutiny is fair, but the third-party audits, the farm network transparency, and the compositional testing all point in the same direction. The audience that benefits most is heart patients and health-conscious consumers who have decided the premium is only worth paying if the evidence supports it. In this case, it does. Vital Farms did not win this ranking because of its branding. It won because when we checked, everything it claimed turned out to be true. I can't believe it's not butter. Avoid. Parquet, skip. Bluebonnet, overpriced. Smart Balance, misleading. Country Crock, untraceable. Imperial, underperforms. Kerrygold, strong buy. Tillamook, trusted. Land O'Lakes, complicated. Vital Farms, clear winner. 60-second buyer. Protocol. First, check the legal classification. If the label says spread, blend, or vegetable oil spread, it is not butter. The name on the front does not change that. Second, count the ingredients. Any butter requiring more than 2 ingredients to exist is carrying additives that serve the manufacturer, not the consumer. Third, verify the fat source. Soybean oil and palm kernel oil as primary ingredients signal a product built around cost reduction, not nutritional integrity. Fourth, check for ownership transparency. If a brand markets itself as farm-based or cooperative-owned, that claim should be publicly verifiable, not just implied by the packaging aesthetic. Fifth, look for third-party certification. Pasture-raised, grass-fed, and animal welfare claims without independent audit backing are marketing language, not sourcing guarantees. What this ranking proved is simple. The most trustworthy product in this category is the one with the fewest ingredients, the most verifiable sourcing, and no gap between what the label promises and what the supply chain delivers. 10 brands, 1 category, and a spread aisle that turned out to be far more complicated than most households ever suspected. We went in assuming butter was butter. We came out with a ranked field that separates products built for trust from products built for shelf presence. Private equity ownership, untraceable palm oil, synthetic emulsifiers, and health claims that dissolve under basic math. All of it hiding behind familiar packaging on a shelf most people walk past without a second thought. The difference matters. It matters at breakfast. It matters when feeding a family. It matters when managing a health condition and reaching for something that should be simple but has not been for a long time. If the brand in the fridge right now did not make the top 3, is it still worth the space? Check the list, make the switch, and share this with someone who deserves better information. Every smart purchase starts with knowing what is actually inside the package. We did the work. Now the decision belongs to the household making it. Subscribe, share, and keep rising.